The sun rose gently over the eastern horizon, casting golden light on the lush grove near the river. Birds sang sweetly, welcoming the new day with melodies that resonated in the tranquil air. The Buddha sat beneath a spreading tree, his presence radiating serenity and compassion to all who approached. Disciples gathered around, their robes fluttering softly in the morning breeze as they settled onto the ground. Among them was Sona, a young monk whose furrowed brow betrayed the turmoil within his heart. He clasped his hands tightly, his breaths shallow as if weighed down by an invisible burden. Sona had spent many nights wrestling with a relentless, critical voice echoing in his mind. "Master," Sona said hesitantly, his voice quivering with emotion, "I am consumed by thoughts of my inadequacy and unworthiness. They haunt me unceasingly." The Buddha opened his eyes, his gaze calm yet penetrating, resting on Sona with profound understanding. "Sona," he said softly, "the mind can be like turbulent waters, restless and unclear, but it can also find stillness." The other disciples leaned closer, captivated by the Buddha's gentle wisdom as he continued. "Tell me, Sona," he said, "what is it that you fear when these thoughts arise? What do they whisper to you?" Sona hesitated, his voice breaking as he answered, "They tell me I will never be enough, never worthy of the path I try to follow." The Buddha nodded thoughtfully, allowing Sona's words to settle into the moment's silence. The leaves above swayed gently, casting dappled shadows on the earth below. "Consider this, Sona," the Buddha began. "When one strikes a gong, does the sound endure forever?" Sona furrowed his brow, pondering the question before answering. "No, Master. The sound fades as the gong ceases to resonate." "Precisely," the Buddha said, his voice firm yet kind. "Self-critical thoughts are like the sound of the gong, temporary, not eternal." Sona's eyes widened slightly as the weight of the metaphor began to dawn on him. "But, Master," he pressed, "how can I silence the gong of my mind when it feels unrelenting?" The Buddha smiled gently, gesturing toward the river flowing softly nearby. "Observe the river," he said. "It accepts all that enters, leaves, twigs, rain, and yet, it flows on, undisturbed." The disciples turned their gazes to the water, its gentle ripples glinting in the sunlight as it meandered serenely. "The mind must learn to be like the river," the Buddha explained, acknowledging thoughts without clinging to them, allowing them to pass. Sona listened intently, his breathing slowing as the Buddha's words began to ease the tension within him. "Master," he asked, "how does one begin to let go of such deeply rooted judgments and doubts?" The Buddha paused, his expression thoughtful, before replying, "By cultivating self-kindness. Sona, speak to your heart as you would to a beloved friend in pain." A murmur of agreement rippled through the gathered disciples, their faces reflecting their own struggles and aspirations for self-compassion. The Buddha raised his hand gently, gesturing for silence as he continued. "Imagine a farmer planting seeds in a field," he said. "Would the farmer strike the soil in frustration if growth is slow?" Sona shook his head slowly, his lips parting as he began to grasp the lesson. "No, Master. The farmer would nurture the soil, water the seeds, and wait with patience," he said. "Exactly," the Buddha affirmed, his tone warm with encouragement. "So must you nurture your own heart, Sona, with patience and care." Sona felt a flicker of hope stir within him, a faint light piercing the darkness of his self-doubt. He bowed deeply, his forehead nearly touching the earth as he expressed his gratitude. "Master," he said, "your wisdom is like a lamp in the night. I will strive to follow your guidance. Trust in the clarity born of mindfulness." "Through mindfulness," he said, "you will learn to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and see the truth in them. Perfection is not the goal of this path. Growth, compassion, and understanding are the true treasures." Even the stream, he said, encounters obstacles, yet it perseveres, finding new paths to continue its journey toward the river. The practice of living with intention, he continued, is not measured by perfection, but by the courage to begin again. Sona sat quietly, his spirit lighter than it had been in many days. The Buddha closed his eyes once more, his breath steady and deep as he returned to meditation. The disciples remained, some meditating in turn, others reflecting on the profound truths they had just heard. The river flowed on, its gentle murmur a testament to the ever-changing, ever-moving nature of life. The birds sing, he said, not because they must, but because it is their essence to bring joy to the world. The leaves fall, he continued, not in despair, but to nourish the earth below, continuing the cycle of life. Sona resolved to practice self-kindness, to nurture the seeds of compassion within himself and let them grow. He knew the path would not be without challenges, but he also knew he was not alone. But Master, I asked, how do I find my role? How do I know my place in the harmony of life? The Buddha looked at me, his expression filled with infinite patience. As he replied, purpose is not imposed, it is uncovered. Start by asking yourself, he said, what service can I offer others? What light can I bring to the world? His words carried a gravity that seemed to expand the space around us, enveloping me in an undeniable truth. The grove remained a beacon of hope, a reminder that even amidst struggle, there is always the possibility of finding peace. Another day, another morning bathed in the soft hues of dawn. The disciples gathered again under the sacred tree's shade. The air carried the crisp scent of early blooms, mingling with the murmurs of a nearby stream. The Buddha sat in quiet repose, his presence as steady and calming as the earth beneath him. Among the disciples, a young monk named Ananda seemed troubled, his eyes clouded with thoughts too heavy to bear. Finally, he spoke, his voice tinged with self-doubt. Master, I often compare myself to others and feel small, unworthy, and insignificant. What can I do? The Buddha opened his eyes, meeting Ananda's gaze with an expression of infinite compassion and understanding. Master, I said, sitting before him, I strive to live with purpose, but my resolve falters. I feel unsteady. There was once a sparrow, the Buddha began, who lived in the shadow of a grand banyan tree. Each day, it looked at the larger birds with admiration and despair, wishing for plumage like theirs. But one day, as a great bird with radiant feathers soared high, a storm arose. The Buddha paused, his gaze sweeping over the gathered disciples, ensuring the lesson sank deep into their hearts. I nodded, his metaphor settling into my mind, though the storm of doubt continued to swirl within my chest. But Master, I said, how do I remain steadfast on my path when doubts and fears threaten to pull me away? The Buddha gestured toward a bird perched on a branch, its beak meticulously weaving strands of grass into a nest. The grove was still, save for the rustling of leaves and the occasional birdsong that punctuated the profound silence. Ananda, the Buddha said, his voice steady and kind, each being is unique, each with its own place and purpose. Do not waste your days longing to be another when you are perfectly enough as you are. Ananda bowed, his head, tears glinting in his eyes as the Buddha's words unlocked a truth buried deep within him. Master, he whispered, how can I see the worth within myself when the shadow of others obscures my view? The Buddha smiled gently, gesturing toward the stream as its waters sparkled in the light. Ananda, do you see how the stream flows smoothly, embracing the pebbles and leaves within its path? It does not pause to compare itself to the river or the ocean, nor does it despair at its simplicity. Do you see the mountains? He asked. They did not rise in a day. They formed over countless centuries. Each of you, the Buddha continued, his voice firm yet compassionate, has a role to play, a light to shine. Comparing yourself to others diminishes your own light, dimming the truth of who you are. Ananda raised his head, his expression shifting from one of doubt to a tentative hope. Master, he asked, how does one nurture this light and protect it from the shadows of doubt and comparison? The Buddha gestured toward the sunlit grove, its harmonious balance of light and shadow a testament to nature's wisdom. Just as the sun and the moon illuminate the earth in their own time, he said, so must you honor your own rhythm. Practice gratitude, Ananda, for all that you are and all that you possess. Do you see the farmer? He asked. He sows seeds with care, yet he does not see them sprout immediately. Do not forget, the Buddha added, even the smallest act of kindness toward yourself is a step toward liberation. When you honor your own journey, you find the strength to uplift others as well. But how can I create beauty if the stone resists perfection? He asked, his voice tinged with desperation. The Buddha sat cross-legged beside the rock, his robes pooling around him like ripples in a still pond. The day continued to unfold, each moment imbued with the promise of self-discovery and inner peace. The Buddha closed his eyes once more, entering a state of serene meditation, his presence a constant source of inspiration for all. The disciples lingered, absorbing the lessons and reflecting on the profound beauty of embracing their unique paths. The sparrows sang on, their melodies harmonizing with the flowing stream and whispering leaves, a living reminder of the parable's timeless wisdom. The world seemed to breathe in unison with the teachings of the Buddha, resonating with the infinite potential within every being. Another day, another evening cloaked in soft hues of twilight. The disciples gathered around the Buddha beneath the banyan tree. A gentle breeze carried the scent of jasmine, mingling with the distant murmur of the flowing river. The Buddha sat in serene meditation, his form radiating a profound stillness that drew all toward him. Among the disciples was Sona, who had come seeking further clarity on the practice of self-kindness and inner growth. Sona bowed deeply, his voice steady but thoughtful as he addressed the Buddha. Master, he began, I have worked to embrace self-kindness. Yet doubt sometimes arises like weeds in a garden. How can I persist? The Buddha opened his eyes, his gaze calm yet filled with boundless compassion, resting firmly on Sona. Sona, he said, self-kindness is not a destination but a practice requiring constant nurture and mindfulness. The disciples leaned in, their faces eager to receive the wisdom unfolding in the Buddha's gentle words. Consider a gardener tending to a field, the Buddha continued. The garden cannot bloom without care, nor can it thrive without patience. He gestured toward the grove surrounding them, the lush trees and vibrant blooms whispering stories of abundance and harmony. When weeds appear, the gardener does not abandon the field, the Buddha said. Instead, the weeds are removed with careful hands, allowing the flowers to flourish. Sona nodded, his heart stirred by the profound simplicity of the metaphor. Master, he asked softly, how does one guard against the weeds when they grow quickly and threaten to overrun the garden? The Buddha paused, his gaze steady as he replied, by cultivating mindfulness. Sona, when the weeds of doubt arise, acknowledge them without fear and uproot them with compassion and awareness. His words planted a seed of determination within me, a resolve to persevere regardless of the challenges that might arise. Master, I said, how do I ensure that my intentions remain pure, untainted by selfish desires or fleeting aspirations? The Buddha turned his gaze upward, toward the sun that bathed the grove in warm light, illuminating every leaf and branch. The flame flickers in the wind, but it endures when protected by the steady hands of the watcher. He continued, your inner light is this flame, vulnerable yet resilient. When your purpose serves the greater good, he continued, it aligns with the natural harmony of existence and gains strength. I felt the warmth of the sun on my skin, its unwavering radiance and inspiration to live with selfless intention. Master, I asked, how can I nurture my purpose when doubts and distractions cloud my mind and weaken my resolve? The Buddha pointed toward a tree rooted deeply in the earth, its branches reaching high into the sky above. Purpose, he said, is like the tree. It must be nurtured with mindfulness, rooted firmly in your truth, and nourished daily. Begin each day, he added, with reflection. Each shines with its own unique light, harmonizing yet distinct, illuminating the vast darkness together. He continued, so too must you honor your individuality, trusting that your journey enriches the fabric of existence itself. The disciples closed their eyes, reflecting on the profound beauty of the Buddha's words as the gentle rustling of leaves harmonized with their thoughts. The Buddha's teachings resonated deeply, as if the universe itself had stilled to listen. Gratitude, sona, is the water that sustains the garden of self-kindness, the Buddha added, his tone firm yet compassionate. Express gratitude for your strengths, your struggles, and the lessons they bring, and your inner garden will bloom abundantly. He paused, his gaze sweeping across the gathered disciples before continuing. Never forget, the Buddha said, that kindness toward yourself is not selfishness but an act of liberation, enabling you to uplift others as well. Trust it. As the sun set over Jetavana Grove, I carried his teachings in my heart, ready to face the challenges ahead. Another day, another journey began in Jetavana Grove, where the rustling leaves whispered truths I had yet to understand. My heart carried the wisdom of previous lessons, yet questions lingered, yearning for clarity only the Buddha's guidance could provide. As I approached the grove, I found the Buddha seated near a flowing stream, his gaze resting calmly on the horizon. Master, I said, bowing deeply, I seek to align my actions with my purpose, yet I fear losing my way. The Buddha turned toward me, his expression filled with infinite patience, a beacon of reassurance amidst my swirling thoughts. Living with purpose, the Buddha began, requires mindfulness at every moment, like a painter carefully placing each stroke on the canvas. I nodded, his words resonating with a depth I struggled to fully grasp, yet their truth felt undeniable and profound. But Master, I asked, how can I ensure each stroke aligns with my purpose, untainted by distractions or selfish desires? The Buddha motioned toward a tree near the stream, its reflection shimmering in the water below, a vision of balance. Another day had passed, another step taken on the path of self-kindness and inner growth, illuminated by the Buddha's timeless teachings. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.